Chapter 5, Section 7 is identifying linear functions. And first of all, a linear function is a function that is a line. A function that is a line. So it needs to be a straight line, and it also needs to be a function. Number 1, is that a straight line? Yes. And is that a function? That will be a yes. Number 2, is that a straight line? No. So that will not be a linear function. Number 3, that is a straight line. However, number 3 is not a function. So this one will be a no. Number 4, this one is a line and it is a function. And number 5, this one is not a line and it is not a function. So that one would also be a no. There is a shortcut to tell if a set of data represents a linear function. And what you need is a common x difference and a common y difference. So your change in your x needs to be the same, change in your y's need to be the same. The change in the x does not need to be the same as the change in the y. So looking at this one, our x's, -10, -5, 0, 5. Those go up by 5 each time. And our y's, from 10 to 4, we subtract 6. And from 4 to 2, we subtract 2. So this change in our y's is not the same. From 10 to 4, it's a 6. From 4 to 2, it's a 2. So that one is not a line. Number 7, -4, -2. We've gone up to. 0 to 2, we've gone up to. And 2 to 4, we've gone up to. And the y's, from 13 to 1, we've gone down 12. From 1 to -3, we go down 4. So this change is a -12. This change is a -4. So that is not a function. And number 8, from 2 to 5 is 3. 5 to 8 is 3. 8 to 11 is 3. 4, 3, 2, 1. You go down by 1 each time. So yes, that one is a function. Linear equation is just an equation for a line. Equation for a line. And we have 3 different types of equations for lines. And the first one is standard form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. A, b, and c are all going to be numbers. So the x and the y will remain an x and a y. And we need to say whether these are linear equations. This first one is a yes. That is a linear equation. And to put this in standard form, I'm going to add 3x to both sides. and that becomes 3x plus 2y equals 7. Our a value is 3. Our b value is 2. And our c value is 7. Number 10, yes, that is a line. It is in standard form. A is 4, B is 1, and C is 10. Number 11, I think in your notes it looks more like this. 6 over x plus 3y equals 12. This right here is major. If you divide by a number, that is not a line. Not a line. And number 12, I'm going to add y to both sides. And that becomes 5x plus y equals 0. So that is a linear equation. A is 5, B is 1, and C is 0. 13, right here, is our major problem, 5x squared. That will be a parabola, so that is not a line. X-intercept is the place where the graph crosses the x-axis, and the y-intercept is the place where the graph crosses the y-axis. So wherever your graph crosses, the x-axis is the x-intercept, the y-axis is the y-intercept. Our first one is kind of nice. It's a picture. So right here, -4 is your x-intercept, and -4 is your y-intercept. For the next one, we do the 0, 0 thing. If I let x be 0, this whole thing cancels out because anything times 0 is 0. 30 divided by 5 is 6. And we can do that same thing for y. If y is 0, that whole thing cancels out, and 30 divided by -3 is a -10. Now if we were to graph this, -10, 0 would be about right there. That is where the line crosses your x-axis. So if a number is in the x spot, it's the x-intercept. And right here, 0, 6 would be up there. So where the number, when the number's in the y spot, that is your y-intercept. Number 3, same thing. We're going to do this 0, 0 thing. X is 0, we cover that up. 20 divided by -4 is -5. That number is in your y spot, so that is your y-intercept. And if y is 0, we cover this up. 20 divided by 5 is 4, and that is your x-intercept. Number 4, if x is 0, that gets covered up. 30 divided by 10 is 3. If y is 0, that gets covered up. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Numbers in your y spot. So that is the y-intercept. And this one is your x-intercept. Number 5. X is 0. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And over here, if y is 0, 12 divided by 6 is 2. The numbers in the y spot, so that is your y-intercept. Here are the numbers in your x spot, so that is your x-intercept. Number 6, x is 0. Negative 8 divided by negative 4 is 2. And if y is 0, negative 8 divided by negative 2 is 4. Numbers in the y spot, so that is your y-intercept. The numbers in the x spot, so that is your x-intercept. And we're going to use that same idea up here. Exact same thing we've been doing. Is 0, 0. If x is 0, we cover that up. 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. So 0, negative 2 goes right there. And if y is 0, you cover that up. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And if we graph those 2 points, that will be our line. Number 8, if x is 0, we cover that up. 12 divided by negative 6 is negative 2. And if y is 0, we cover that up. 12 divided by negative 4 is negative 3. 0, negative 2, negative 3, 0. And your line looks something like that. Number 9, if x is 0, 20 divided by negative 10 is negative 2. And if y is 0, 20 divided by 4 is 5. 0, negative 2, 5, 0, and your line looks like that. Number 10, if x is 0, 21 divided by negative 7 is a negative 3. And if y is 0, 21 divided by 3 is 7. So 0, negative 3, 7, 0 is a little bit off your chart. And your line looks like that. Number 11, I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides, and you will have negative 3x plus y equals negative 9. If x is 0, you will have negative 9. And if y is 0, negative 9 divided by negative 3 is 3. So this one is a little bit off your graph. 0, negative 9 is off the graph. 3, 0, and your line looks something like that. Number 12, cover up the x. you would have 0, 3. Cover up the y, you will have -3, 0. 0, 3 is right there. -3, 0. And your line looks something like that. And last, we have a story problem. School store sells pens for $2 and notebooks for $3. So here's our equation. 2x plus 3y equals 60. And we're going to graph the equation. So we're going to do the 0, 0 thing. If x is 0, 60 divided by 3 is 20. And if y is 0, 60 divided by 2 is 30. So I'm going to have these each go up by 5. 0, 20 would be 5, 10, 15, 20. And 30, 0 would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I don't want to count all the way to 20 and 30 on that graph. And actually, we technically shouldn't have a line in here because you can't buy negative notebooks. And what this stands for, you could buy 0 pens and 20 notebooks, or you could buy 30 pens and 0 notebooks. And that's what those numbers stand for on that graph.